to Crafters TV. Welcome to our house. We call our house Craft House, not all the time, just for this show. It's lovely to be with you. My name is Rebecca Redican. You can call me Becky. And we have got a treat so blooming marvellous today that you are going to be swept off your feet. Have you ever been inspired by nature? Yeah, I think it's safe to say that we all have, right? We have got a collection and a half for you. This is kind of hot off the press. If you've not been joining us like the last couple of days because you've been, oh, I don't know, doing silly things like earning a living or, boring stuff, then you may well have missed out on this incredible collection by the lady who really needs no introduction, but I'm going to give one anyway because it's polite. The fabulous Sharon Callis. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Becky. Hello. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you getting on?
I'm good. I'm good here, ready to go. We're in to get some demos done.
Can I ask you, what is it like weather-wise where you are right now? Because that's all we've been nattering about today.
Yeah, wet. It's Ireland. It's wet.
My family live in Ireland and it's usually either wet or windy, sometimes both. Sharon, you've got this fabulous collection on with us today that we're really focusing on. Can I just ask you to start off, kind of what inspired you with this one?
Well, everyone knows I love my flowers and I'm known for bringing you some flower dyes, so this was no different. But what I focused on this time was bringing a collection of bright and fun and spring flowers because that's, it's spring now heading into summer. And it's wedding season and celebrations. So these flowers are traditional flowers that you would see this time of year, maybe in your garden, flower centres or in bouquets. So that's where this collection kind of fits in today. It's to give you an option here for your celebrations.
And this is the thing with it too. The way you've put it is just beautiful. They are happy feeling. They are optimistic colours. They're really on trend colours as well. What I love with this collection that I think is just exceptional is in the papers, the amount of detail we've got in these ones. Sort of the lily one is just speaking to me so much. I mean, come on. It's eye-catching, it's iconic, and it makes them even more realistic, which is what I think one of the things that Sharon's really, really known for, these incredible flowers that are essentially made out of paper or card or similar, but in the end they look so realistic, and they are truly little pieces of artwork. And I mean, look at that one. I don't know about you, but that makes me want to stop off at the ice cream van. It's beautiful. We have got some fabulous designs here, so let me just run through some of them. So I've obviously got the lily that I showed you first off. I've got the champagne rose as well. This one I'm showing you here now is your Ranunculus. We have got for you the tea rose, also the orchid. If you're the kind of person that loves the kind of hues that sort of meld and ombre into one another, then you're going to absolutely adore these collections. Oh my goodness, do you know what I want to say as well? If you've never seen, maybe you're brand new to us and you've not seen these pieces before, get ready because you are about to ooh and ah. We have got for you all of these, 30 pieces in each one, already in wearing for you to get crafting. But then I've also got all of our dies in there too, so that you can make these truly realistic pieces of art. I've got the likes of my lilies and I've got your orchids in here as well. There's absolute oodles in here that I know we'll go through properly in a moment or two. For now though, let me just remind you that we have got Sharon on with us live. So if you're watching in the UK and it's approximately 18:05 and 16 seconds, then we are live. So you can message in with questions for the lovely Sharon, and it's Susie's Superstar Social on with us today. Another reminder as well for you is that we have got an offer on today, which means no matter where you are on the rung of the ladder when it comes to our Club Inspire, there's a little bit of one-upmanship here today. So, for example, if you're normally on bronze, you know that you'll get 5% off. Today, though, as you can see, you're going to be getting 10% off, and so on, including platinum. Normally, you're limited to the 20% discount. Today, it's 25% off. Keep that in mind, because some of the deals you're going to get are exceptional. So actually, with this full collection here, I mean, there's 26 dies. You've got the embossing folders in there that I know we showed you earlier on that we were all nattering about because we were in love with, and Michelle, you know, was using them loads. And you're getting 180 sheets of the paper. But if you look at that platinum price, it's the other side. If you look at that platinum price, that's actually what price you're going to get if you are gold today. If you're platinum, it's $74.99 or $92.74. So you've really got an opportunity here, or a shop-opportunity as I like to call it. So do seize the moment on this one whilst you can. And that's quite frankly enough of me yammering on. We want to talk to the lady who knows all about it. Let's have a little look through. Sharon, can you tell us a bit more about this collection?
Sure, yeah. We'll go through the collection and I'll show you the individual flowers and the pads that correspond. The pads themselves, as you showed a few minutes ago, have various colours, and I'll explain the thinking and the design of why the papers are that way. So what we'll do is we'll start looking at the dies. So first up, the flower we have is the Ranunculus. Right, so you'll see the example here, there's two. That's the same die. But what I've done is I've doubled up on the strip with the larger one. So that's what you can do. So you start off with one single strip. So this here is cut out of the variegated paper, but each die also gives you some foliage dies with it. So it's the complete package. And when you look down here, and a lot of people who follow me and buy my flowers know that this is called a calyx. And what this is included for is, well, you can use it two ways. The intended purpose of it is that when you've quilled your flower and you flip that over, you will see the spiral of the paper, and that's not very pretty if you want to use that to make a flower crown or a button pin, or you want to thread the flowers on wire. So this is where this comes in. This covers the workings at the back of the quilling, so it just gives it a nice finish. But you can also use this on its own to make flowers. So you can cut them one or two, maybe three, layer them up so you can have fun with that. So this is the foliage that comes with the Ranunculus. And then we have the paper pad. So we have a pad for each of the flowers, but I just want to explain, when you open the pad, you see this is an ombre effect. And the idea of that is when you have a die and you place it maybe down on the green all the way to red. So you always quill from the smallest end to the largest. So this means that the center of your flower will be green, but as you go along, your petals change color, and they'll end up then a darker shade at the bottom. So that's the idea of the shading that's in the paper. But when you get a pad with two tones like this, it's the same effect kind of. You line up your die in the center, and when you cut that out, it means that the base of your petal is light, but the tips of your petals are dark. So that's another way of getting color into your flowers. So that's the basic principle behind the pads. And as you can see, they've all got various tones and shadings to suit the flowers. So that was the Ranunculus. Next, we're going to look at the Champagne Rose. And this again has its three foliage and its calyx. And again, I've made a small one and a large one. And it's simple. I've just quilled one, and where that ended, started another one, and then keep quilling, and you can go bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's the Champagne Rose. Next we have is our Lily. Now this is after getting a little bit squished here, but this has the inbuilt stamens as well. And I'll show you later on how this comes together. It might look a bit complicated, but it is honestly the simplest lily you are ever going to make. And this is the foliage for that. Then we have our orchid. Now, I absolutely love the orchid. And again, when you look at the die cut, you say, how can that become a flower? It looks more like a cello or something, you know, yeah, the way that it's laid out. But I promise you, this is nifty. When you go to quill this, and it comes together real easy to make your beautiful orchid here. Then we have the mountain peony. So this is the smallest flower that we have in the set. So when you quill it, you can just not fan out the petals and have a nice little bud, or how about fanning them out? And you can see here the two tones, and that's from the ombre papers as well. So you can see the effect that has. So if you're not into your inking, or you want to make a quick flower, you can just go ahead and use the paper. And then this is our tea rose. When you look at the tea rose now, the petals look a little bit like love hearts, but there's a purpose for this, because what you do is, when you have it cut out, you get a quilling tool or tweezers and you go to the edges of the petals and you quill them back, and that gives you then this forming for your flower. And again, you can see the tones in the papers picked up there. And then we're going to move on to our embossing folders. So in the collection you get two. Now these are 3D embossing folders, but I absolutely love this one here. If you look at the detail in this, so what the concept was behind this is, if you think of an old greenhouse or an orangery, the gorgeous Edwardian and Victorian tiling that would have been on the floor. So I wanted to replicate that kind of feel in the die. So that's why I came up with this design. And it's simple. This is just embossed on white card, rubbed with gilded wax, but this is inked card. You know, get out your Spectrum Noirs and your ink pads, make your backgrounds, and then emboss it, and then add a little bit of gilding wax to that, just to give it a lift. And we've done that again with this one. This is Divine Blooms, and the detail on this is quite a deep flower, if you can see that. So that would be gorgeous on your wedding invitations, christening invitations, etc. And again, here it is with a bit of colour. So when I was inking, I just concentrated putting colour on the sides where the flowers would be, green where the petals, and then gilded it up. And that took 2 minutes. It was so quick.
That's great.
And then finally we have two embossing frames. So in these here, you'll notice that there is some embossed detail that's been inked, and I'll show you that technique later. But basically, when you cut it out, leave it in the die, put the embossing mat over it, run it through again, that will bring up the detail, remove the embossing mat, and then ink through the die. So you leave the die and paper together for the whole process, and that's how you end up with this gorgeous effect.
Fab.
So that's everything that's in the collection today.
That is absolutely jam-packed, that is, isn't it? Again, remember, if you do want to get it all individually, you absolutely can. The tea rose is the most popular of the dies so far. However, some of the embossing folders have been really, really popular too. Also will mention, because sort of I've been going, oh, I love these ones so much all day. The lily paper in particular is really, really busy. It has been a busy day today. This is only like the sort of third, I think, time that we've seen this collection. So if you've missed it before, today's your best ever price. If you are, for example, platinum, because the platinum price you've got there is just for gold people right now. $74.99 or $92.74 if you are platinum, because we're doing a step up today, like a taster of the next level. So many lovely messages already coming through for Sharon. Joe Holzer is saying, good afternoon from a windy South Dakota. So excited. Yutta's in saying hello. Sharon, Becky, CC team from Germany, woohoo! Hello as well to the lovely Kathy saying, I've been looking forward to seeing Sharon all day. The time has come. There's just loads of love coming through for you, which is wonderful. Don't forget, if you've got any questions for Sharon, then do get involved. By the way, real quickly, I just want to remind you, because it is the weekend. In fact, here in the UK, it's the bank holiday weekend. Yes! We have got a mystery Super Saver weekend bag for you. Now, I've just been picking out 2 at random each time, but I'm going to be a little bit nicer and pick out 3 at random this time. All of these are creator cards. Oh, one. And today you are getting a massive selection Okay, so these are the three I pulled out at random. We have got for you in here the Take Flight, that wonderful balloon die. You get all of that detail within it. Normally £17. Oh, I wish I hadn't picked three now, because I'm going to have to maths, aren't I? I've also got for you today the Entwined Roses. Now, this one I haven't pulled out yet, I don't think, but you can see you've got that border design, and you can just cut this into your card, and it does its job beautifully. £10 on that one, so that's £27 so far. And then I've got your Save the Date, which I think is really lovely. Actually, I think this would be wonderful with one of Sharon's flowers at the side of it, is almost like an adornment and embellishment, actually, just because, you know, it does make you think of weddings, etc., etc. That one there is £20. So altogether, £37. What? £47 worth. I tried to add up two very small numbers before and completely messed it up. £20, £10, 17. That's 47. We were right, yeah. Do you know what? Basically, it doesn't matter. You're saving money. I'm going. It's £47 for you there. But sneaky peek. Ooh, cool. We've got all of those that are in there as well. You should be paying like £105 or $125-ish dollars. Today, though, check out your prices. And again, that isn't actually even the platinum price. If you're platinum, it's $22.50 today. Or $30. 60% has now left the building. That's 60%. I will let you know that this offer will only last until the end of the weekend, or until stocks last, which at this rate might be tomorrow morning. So do seize the moment if you, quite frankly, just love a surprise and a bargain. Hey up, should we get into the good stuff? Yeah, go on then. Let's head on back to Sharon. Sharon, what are we going to look at now?
Well, I'm a bit worried about the tea rose because people seem to be jumping on that at the moment.
Yeah, it's been really popular.
We'll start with the tea rose,
cool.
And we'll do a demonstration with that. So what I have here is the die itself. And anybody who hasn't seen a die like this before, basically, some of you might be familiar with like a quilling die that would have looked like that. Okay, so it would have been a single die. And what you would have had to do would cut that out twice. You would have had to layer one over the other, you know, glue that together, make sure that each gap was covered. But when you went to quill that, it was stiff, it would split, or your flower wouldn't be round, it would be kind of hexagonal shape or would have come apart. So what I've done is I've taken the steps out of it for you. So literally it's just one cut, you fold in half and you quill it. So you're saving time, you're saving paper, you're saving glue on this, and your patience. Right. So I've got the tea rose here and I have the tea rose pad. So this is the variations of colour that's in that. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go with a light colour. So I'm going to go with the pink for the flower. And then I'm going to use some green for the foliage on this. Now, with this, as I said before, to get the variation in the colour, where you'd have dark in the middle and lighter at the tip, you put it in the centre. But if you want to get value from your pad and get even more variety, put the die over at the side. So when you cut that out, you can come along and use the other side of the paper. Right. So if you want to get two flowers out of one sheet and make good value out of it, you can do that. But for today, I'm just going to pop it in the centre, line it up, and I'm going to add a little bit of tape just at the top, just to stop it from moving around. And I'm putting that there on the cutting plate. And then for the foliage, you have a lot more flexibility with this now. So what I suggest you do is you just play around with the dies. You line them up and then tape them down. And it only takes one piece kind of in the center just to keep them in place. Just there. And then I'm going to trim off the excess for that. And I'm going to lie that beside this. Now, actually, I'm going to remove the small one because it might impede the other die, and I'm going to move that over here. So play around with them and the placement. So I'll pop that here. And then I'm going to run them through the Gemini. So once these are cut, Then we're going to show you how to shape the petals before you quill it. It's always easier to work on the petals before you quill. Right, so we take that out. And look how easy they fall out of the die.
It's great.
So the coating that's on these dies is absolutely amazing. Now I'm using paper here, but don't forget you can use these on other things like felt, aluminums, vellum, cotton. If you've got fabric stiffener, treat the fabric first, and then you can make lovely soft crafts projects with them. Okay, so that was that, and now we've got our flower. So, and I keep these because I can use them with my sentiment dies as well. So there's no wastage in this, right? And now, get that out, just falls out. Now, earlier on when I was showing you the die set, I said that the petals have, they look like hearts, and they've got turns at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on these petals, but I don't have to do them all. So I can do this randomly. And all I'm doing with a quilling tool or tweezers is just going to the tip and curling it back like that. And then I go to the next one, kind of randomly do it there. Same with this one. So just randomly, different ways, go down. Then give them a little curl.
And is that kind of what makes them extra realistic?
Yeah, it kind of adds. Like when you look at a rose, now particularly a tea rose, if you've seen like climbing roses and things like that, the small little bud, but when you look closely, the tops of the petals tend to curve back.
Right.
And that's how you get the effect with this.
That's brilliant.
Right. So now I've done one side. Now, if I was to do the same to this side and curl it back, what would happen is when I fold it, they would be going the opposite direction. So what you do then is flip it over and then go back down the other side.
Great.
And then when you fold it in half, when the side, front and back join together, you will see then that your curves are going in the same direction.
I get you.
Just remember that. And when you're quilling, you always quill from the smallest to the biggest, so that the center of your flower is more compact than the exterior.
Yes.
And then you can make it bigger by just doing this second strip and adding it on the edge. Right, so all I've done, it's quite random looking. And then I'm just going to fold it in the center and then fold it the way down. And you can see here now when I put it flat, all my alignment is done for me. It's where it needs to be. And I don't need to glue two layers together because the perforation holds it all in place. Now you can use wet glue or you can use red liner tape. I'm going to use the red liner tape for this, just so for speed, because it doesn't need drying time. So
I see.
just place it. So this is the 3mm red liner tape. I recommend the 3mm for these flowers.
Okay.
And just press that down to make sure it grabs. And then I fight with the top of it to make sure it gets off.
We have got red liner tape on offer online. If you want to have a nosy, you can.
Perfect. Yay, that worked. And now I'm just going to pop it on the quilling tool. Now, if your quilling tool is new, the prongs are generally really tight. So all you do is you get a craft knife or you get your Pokey tool and put it in the middle and then widen out the prongs a little bit. That's all you need.
That's a good tip.
So popping it on. Now, start to quill. And when the first petal curls, give it a pinch. Doesn't matter whether it's in or out. Same with the second petal. So that means you can get a proper tight center into the flower.
I see.
And then once you have 2 or 3 done, you can just go the whole way down the end. And look how quick that is and how easy that is. And it's not stiff at all because it hasn't been glued. And
That's
literally,
amazing.
you just keep it on the quilling tool and then you fan out the petals. And that's how you shape your flower. So you can play around with them, spread them out as far as you like, or you can close them in and make a tight butt like that. But for this one, we're just going to spread them out. Now, another little tip is if you have a glue pad, turn the flower upside down, dip it on your glue pad, and then dip it in your glitter, and you'll have a lovely effect on your flowers as well. So that's an easy way to frost them. So when I turn it over here, it's still on the quilling tool. Now, you never yank the flower off the quilling tool, you damage it. You hold the flower, and all the work goes into your thumb. You press it against the back, and you pull out the quilling tool.
I see.
So that way you don't pull the centre of the quill back out, which is what sometimes happens. So that's our tea rose, and then we have our foliage. We're just going to give that a little bit of shaping. So I've got a double petal and a triple petal, but you can pull these apart if you want, and then we have our single. And then bring in the 3D gel glue, and then I'm just going to assemble these together, put a little bit there, and cross over this one, and then a little bit more, and then we're going to put on our flower in the center. And that is simply
beautiful
how you put your little tea rose together. So don't forget to curl back the corners of the petals.
I just think that is absolutely gorgeous. And the thing is, if you've never seen Sharon before, you will have seen her work before, I'm sure, but if you look at her work and you're maybe quite new, you would probably think, not in a month of Sundays would I be able to do that. But with the work and detail that's put into this, you can see that actually it's done really beautifully, and quite simply, even if you are quite new, you too can achieve that fabulous look. And if you do want to, your info is on screen right now. Remember, you're getting all of those fabulous papers that give you that realism in design, as well as the dies that you're going to need to create these, as well as embossing folders and more. Today, big discount. It's that hot off the press, like, oh, way! And it's the best ever price. So it's such a good time to treat yourself to it. Loads of you absolutely adoring this. Hello to who's saying, yay, hello again. We have got Mary Patton saying, hi Sharon, I absolutely, capital letters, love your products. Hello to Miriam saying, good afternoon, y'all, been so excited for this. Beautiful backgrounds, loads of you just absolutely adoring having Sharon on. So don't forget, if you've got any questions or you need a bit of help with anything, then we've got the lady here with us, so do feel free to ask. Now, that is not the only bit of a treat that we've got on show for you today. We have also got for you our heartfelt greetings. Now, this is a special deal because it's 75% saving, and you are getting sensational designs. 75% discount. Basically, it's you buy one, you get 3 free. This is the kind of deal we're talking about today. So I'll quickly show you them just in case you haven't seen them before, because they really are stunning. We have got in here the thinking of you. This is one of my absolute favorites because I think you can always be thinking of someone. It might be someone who's gone through a bit of a difficult time recently. You let them know you're thinking of them, or it might just be, I haven't seen your face in a week and a half and I'm thinking of you. I love this one. You've got the stitching around the side. Imagine weaving through this different cords. It's going to look great. As well as that, I've got the thank you with the wonderful roses on this one. Again, the stamps lay up perfectly so you can sit back and have fun colouring them in. Remember, it's 2 hours of Colour Me Happy tomorrow. Woohoo. I've also got for you the sending blessings. This could be for so much. Isn't it great to have that kaleidoscope of butterfly on this, which is perfect for this time of year, right? And then I've also got for you the happy birthday, which is all year round. Don't forget, we have been talking which celebrity do you share your birthday with game today. Mine was Peter Andre. I still feel like I'm winning. But do feel free to message us in to let us know your celebrity birthday pairing, or just to let us know how amazing you think these products are and what you're planning on doing with them. So today for you, you have got a mega saving. You're buying one of these and you're getting 3 for free. This is a really special opportunity for you. By the way, if you're a platinum, it's £11.24 today, or $12.71, because we're leveling you up today, basically. So it's well worth treating yourself to. If you've been umming and ahhing, or you've been saving your pennies because, you know, your dishwasher broke or whatever, so you've been holding back, now is definitely your time to seize that moment. Now, we brought to you just the other day, they only launched on the 26th, the garden florals, and these have really already been extremely popular. I will let you know the tea rose is like, you know, it's on the way out, basically. It's like trying to pick a tea rose in December, which is when I presume there isn't many of them around. But we have got for you a real special chance today. If you want the whole collection, you're getting that sensational price, but also you are getting big discounts too. So shall we head back on in and have a little look at what Sharon's got for us now? What have you got, Sharon?
Right, so we're going to work with the ranunculus now, but we're going to ramp up the technique end of it a little bit.
Okay, cool.
So quite simple. You can cut this, you can shape the leaves, quill it, perfect. But if you want to add a little bit extra into it, that's what we're going to do now.
Great.
So I've taken the ranunculus die and I've gone into my paper pad. Now, these paper pads sell out so fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. So I recommend that, you know, you get these in your basket now because they won't last long. So, and if we do run out, don't panic. You can always get your universal card stock and ink that up and cut out. But if you want the pads, I'd say get them now. So what I've done is I've taken 2 sheets. But if you turn these sideways, you can see that it flows from light to green to red. So we're going to make this ranunculus with 2 cutting strips, and it's going to look like the colour when it's quilled is running from light into the green and finishes off in a darker tone.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to cut 2 strips together as well, so it's not just 1 strip. So I want the centre to be the light colour, so I'm going to make sure that the smaller petal is on the end. But I'm going to bring it right up to the tip here of the green and tape that down. Okay. So it doesn't move. So I know then that the next layer that I'm going to start is going to, if this ends in green, the beginning of the next layer has to start with green. So I'm going to put the green in here and put them together. It doesn't matter if it overlaps because you can trim that off. And then we're going to cut the 2 layers together. Now I'm cutting 2 layers, but you can cut 3, but I need 2. So place that in the center then, and we're going to pop that through the Gemini. And we're going to shape the leaves. So I'll show you how to shape the leaves, but before we assemble it, we're going to add stamens to the center.
Ah, okay.
Right, so you take these out. So these are our offcuts. So when we have, right, so I'm just going to move that to the side there. So as you can see, we're going to start with a light tone, and it's going to go into a green. But I want to continue the green and end in the red.
Ah, okay.
So that's the tone for the flower. Right, but to shape the leaves, so with a ranunculus, the leaves are kind of cupped at the top. And with these petals here, all you need to do is get a ball tool. Get the smallest end of it and just the tip. You're just going around the tip really quickly, and that's all you have to do. Now, if you want to take this up another level, you can actually put these through your embossing folder before you quill them. Ooh. So you'll have texture on your petals as well. Ooh. But for this, we'll just do this technique here. Okay, so just really quickly do that.
And how much pressure are you putting on whilst you're doing that?
Nothing really.
Oh, really?
You know, it's just the tip. Yeah. I'm just barely holding the quilling tool.
Oh, brilliant.
And with the pressure that you can put on the pad, it helps it as well. So I recommend a foam pad. If you try and do this like on your cutting mat, you won't get the same effect.
Right, I see.
And if you don't have a foam pad, get a tea towel.
Yeah.
Or I like the microfiber cloths, fold it in 4 and put that on your desk and use that instead.
Brilliant.
So we're going to do the same with this. Because paper has a tension, you need to break that tension to get it to do what you need it to do.
I see,
right,
yeah.
So just work the way down. So it's It's like you do with every flower. So once you learn one technique, you'll be able to make any of the flowers, to be honest. Right. So we're just going to prep these now by adding the red liner tape. So this is number 1, this is number 2. So I like the ranunculus flower because it's one that you could actually cut along here and make smaller little ones. You know, you can add on and make it longer. So there's no limit to the ways that you can play around with these. And they actually look like little lily pads as well. So you can
lovely.
Play around with them on other projects as well.
Lovely.
Okay, so we've added our red liner. So what we want to do is just to add a little bit extra to the center, because ranunculuses don't generally have stamens, but you know, when we put them on cards, we want them to look a little bit pretty. So we'll remove the red liner first from this. And if anybody has any questions, if they want to fire them my way, I'd be happy to answer them for them.
Perfect.
Right.
Yeah, do feel free to get those in. One thing I will just quickly mention is the lily paper. I've got less than 100. Officially now, less than 100.
Gosh.
Once this sells out, the bundle sells out. Okay, just bear that in mind for me. So do be quick if you want them.
Okay, so what I've done is I've got some stamens. We all have some of these in our stash. So what I've done is just going to grab 3, and I'm going to make sure they're all at different heights, but I'm going to fold them in half and give it a little pinch. Because essentially what we're going to do is we're going to wrap these around the quilling at the beginning. Right, so leave them down for a sec. So we're going to start with the lighter one, load that up on the quilling tool, and we're going to give it a little twist just so it grabs. But then we're going to get our stamens. Now, it's a little bit finicky. That's an Irish word there. A little finicky. So just give them a little twist till you have a U there.
Okay.
And then we're going to pop it under and grab. So essentially, they're just wrapped around the beginning of the flower.
Okay.
And we're just going to turn. And then you'll see the back half. Now, don't worry if the first petal falls off. And then we're going to turn. Now, I'm putting no pressure on this. It's just quite gentle.
Yeah.
And then give them a little pinch just to give them a curve. It'll help with the quilling. Little pinch, turn. Little pinch, turn, little pinch. And then just keep going.
Okay.
Down to the end. And you don't have to pinch so much when you get to the end. Right, so that's it now. We've used the first strip. But I want to continue on because I want the larger bloom. And all I'm doing is where it's ended, I get my next strip, and then I just stick that on. Now don't worry about the small petals here. They're actually going to be hidden behind the bigger petals.
Okay.
So then we're just going to twist that around. Just let it grab. And you see now we've met up where we started.
Oh, yeah.
And we're just going to keep going. And keep going. And then continue to wrap it. Just following the spine. And the good thing about this is the fact that it's double-sided as well. All your flowers are going to look uniform. I mean, look at the back of that. If that was traditional quilling, we'd have like a hexagon shape at this stage. It wouldn't be round.
Yeah.
And that is now a perfect spiral. So what we're going to do then is turn it over.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And look at that. Look at the tones that you get. So when you spread it out, you've got your burgundy on the outside, works into the green, then comes into the lighter tone, and then you've got your stamens in the center for just that little bit extra.
Oh, and
Okay.
it is extra. It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? Imagine that in white or
Oh.
gold or silver for your wedding bouquets or your candle decorations or your table centerpieces. Right, so we've pulled it off the back. Now, do you remember I mentioned earlier we have our calyxes?
Yes.
So what we're going to do is this is going to cover the back. So if you wanted to add a little pin in for a buttonhole, or you wanted to add a bit of wire to make your flower crown, this is where you do it. It's got a hole in the center as well, ready and waiting for you. So I'm just pinching down the petals to form a kind of a cup shape, right? So just give that a little pinch. and then turn it over. And then I'm going to get some of my 3D gel, pop that in the center, and place that down over that. Just give it a little second. And look how that covers.
Oh, professional.
You know, it just finishes it off so lovely.
Yeah.
And then we'll get our foliage again. And all the foliage is unique to the flowers, but you can mix and match them with the other set. So don't think that it's all, you know, you buy one set, it has to stick with it. Because sometimes projects for autumn, if you were to cut that in autumn tone papers for your wreaths as well, I think that would be absolutely gorgeous.
Definitely.
Right, so add that in. I'm going to just layer that up over that. Another little bit of 3D gel. And pop that on. And there you have it.
Oh, I love it. That one's one of my favourites. I absolutely love that one. That is just stunning. And, I mean, it's incredible that you at home can create that. And also, I love that, Sharon, you've put the extra detail on to have that callus at the back. Because let's be completely honest, right? If you buy something like a card or a buttonhole, you do pick it up and you look at the back, don't you? And if the back's not neat, you might think, how much does, you know, how well is this going to last? Is it actually good quality? So even the fact that Sharon has put that little extra detail in, it just makes you look even more professional. But as you can see, it's not like it's taken you loads of extra time. The work has been done for you. And just to remind you, this is the treat that we have got. I'm starting off with the lily paper purely to say I've got less than 90 of it now, less than 90, which basically means that if everyone bought 90 of these, we wouldn't have any of this bundle left over, so you wouldn't get any of the dies, etc. So just bear that in mind. So we have got all of the wonderful papers in here that you can use with the sort of matching dies, if you will. But there's nothing stopping you, and Sharon will tell you this, there's nothing stopping you using your lilies with, you know, the tea rose if you wanted maybe like a mystical made up flower. Have a little bit of fun with it. I've also got for you in here your champagne rose. I have the tea rose, which we've worked with earlier. I've got the mountain peony. I've got your orchid, and then we've got the ranunculus, which we have just worked with there. And these are the idea of the dies that you can kind of look and the kind of details you can create. Again, the work is done for you, even to the fact of you've got the sort of perforated line down this, which means I don't even have to get my scoreboard out. Literally, it's done for me. You just fold it and it's done. Don't need my scoreboard, don't need to, I don't know if you're anything like me, but sometimes if I'm crafting and I've put like a soap opera on, do you know, some dead rubbish in the background, and you don't pay attention, you go on the wonk, that's not going to happen here at all. It's done for you in the die. Then I've got for you the mountain rose. I absolutely adore this one because for me, it's like got that kind of pom-pom feel, which is really in right now. Then we've got the tea rose, which Sharon showed you earlier. Then I've got your champagne rose in this one. I'm also bringing to you the Ranunculus, which, as we said before, you've got that really wonderful kind of wild feeling almost within the leaves on this one. And then we've got your extra frames, and these frames are just everything and more. The fact that you could put photographs in here, emboss the center, you've got the openness here for that 3D effect and colouring. Then I've got your Pretty Posies frame. This has got a touch of the Art Deco without being too 1920s. So I do like 1920s anyway, but this is like almost a modern twist on it, which I think is really pretty. And these embossing folders for me are just cure blimey, they're beautiful. You've got your florals in here, and again, it's 3D embossing. So when you get this home, you're going to see it's not just here's the top, here's the bottom. It undulates and moves, so it's really good when you add colour to it. And then I've got this one here, and Sharon was saying earlier on that it has got that, it kind of reminds her of these, you know, vintage tiles in kind of Victorian greenhouses. And now, as soon as she said that, I was like, yes, because actually I think you can definitely see that, but also depending on the colours you use, I can see this almost being futuristic. It's one of those almost timeless designs, isn't it? So you're going to be using it for vintage pieces and almost modern pieces. There's loads and loads in there. That's just a quick show through. We will show you through more properly as we go on. For now, though, shall we add some more blooms to your bouquet? Let's do it. Sharon, which one are we working on next?
Well, we better get on to the lily before that flies out the door.
Good idea. Good
so
idea.
That's what we're going to work on now. So I'm going to show you how this lily comes together because it's so simple. But we're going to use our Spectrum Noir pens to add more colour and shading to the paper as well. So that's just to show you.
Great.
So I've got my lily pad here. And, you know, I'm going to get my favourite sheet out. So this one here has the green centre, but it also has the speckles, you know, an imitation of that into it as well. So our die is going to go in the centre. But look at this. The beauty about this lily pad is you're going to get, for sure, 2 flowers per sheet. So there you get 1 and there you get 2. And what I'd say is just fold your sheet in half, just like that.
Okay.
And then when you put your lily on it, you're going to cut 2 at the same time.
Perfect. Great.
It's very simple. So we pop that through the Gemini. And then the lily has its foliage as well. So pop that. And then we're going to get our tri-blends.
Oh, perfect.
So what I'm going to use for this one now is, right, and I haven't got my glasses on, so this is fun, the magenta blend, and I have the gold brown
Perfect.
shades as well. So just get our die cuts out of the die. Pop that off. And another quick tip for you with your dies. I've that many flower dies now that I sometimes look at my wall or my folder and I go, what one is that? So on the back of your dies, get a Sharpie and just write the name of the die.
Oh, great.
And the flower. It won't affect the die itself. And then if you do it on them all, you know what sets go together. So that's just a quick little tip for you. Okay, so there's our 2 die cuts. So I'll take this. And just to show you as well what it looks like cut in the green.
Oh, lovely.
So they're so pretty.
Yeah.
Now, on a lily, you'll know that in the centre there's a dark vein that runs up the centre, and the tips of the stamens are generally yellow, you know, for all that pollen that gets on everything.
Yep, yep.
So what we're going to do is we're going to get the goldy brown, and I'm going to go to the tip of the stamens. I'm just going to colour them. Now, I'm doing both sides.
Okay.
Because when you assemble it, you know, they're both sides are in view. So
I see.
just doing the tip. And then down here. Now, you can also, as I said before, get your glue pen out and then dip it in some flocking or fibre and actually put, you know, that yellow into them, or use yellow stamens in addition to the paper. Right, so next we're going to get the pink. And then I'm just literally going to flick up the centre. Just 2 or 3. And then flip it over for this one.
Okay.
So that's just adding a little bit extra to your papers. Now you can continue on, shade the top, even use heat embossing if you want to have them. And you can use your, you know, the resin drops, you know, that makes it look like raindrops.
Yes, yeah.
Use that on it. Okay. So I've just folded that in half. And when that's in half, then I want to curve the tips like I did with the tea rose. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that's the hardest part of making the lily done.
Great.
That is the hardest part. Now, when we go to quill this, and with all the flowers, as I said before, you don't have to quill it tight. Keep the quilling tool kind of loose in your hand and natural, and then when you push it together, because if you quill it too tight, then your alignment is not going to look right.
Well, that's
And the
interesting.
papers,
actually.
sorry.
That's
Rebecca.
interesting because Pam has literally just messaged in saying, "Hi Sharon, this is Pam from Michigan. I bought all of
Hi.
your stuff, but seeing you work on these florals brings a whole new life to it. I used to twirl them too tight, so thank you very much."
Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, you think that you need to turn it really tight for the flower to stay together. The important part is the end. So once the glue at the very end is held in place, your flower is going to be fine. It's not going to unravel. So don't do it too tight, because then you'll find the alignment is all off. And another important factor is the thickness of the paper or card that you use. For example, this is 180 GSM, so it's kind of designed to fit. If you were to use a 90 GSM, which is like copier paper, it's thinner, flimsier.
Yeah.
You have a tendency to quill it tight, and when you do that, then your alignment, you'll end up with 5 petals, and gaps in the middle.
Right.
It's amazing. So the thickness of the card that you use makes a difference as well.
Brilliant.
So I think the thicker the better.
That's great. Great tip.
Right, so we're going to quill. So we start at the stamens and turn it. And look, there's no pressure in this quilling tool. I'm literally just turning it. Now, we've come to the first petal. Keep going. Give it a little pinch. Come to the second petal. Give it a little pinch. And then just keep going. Just down to the end. And then it's secured. Now, that's not going to fall apart. It had enough.
Brilliant.
Now, with the lily, anyone who's familiar with a lily will know that it's kind of triangulated. So if you can imagine a triangle on top with an upside down triangle on the bottom.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to work on the bottom of the flower first. Top, left and right. It probably looks different on camera. So do you see the triangle that's there?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
So now we're going to fill the gaps. 1, 2, 3.
That's great.
And then you just give them a little tweak to get them in place. And that's your lily.
Lovely.
You just spread out the stem.
Oh,
And that's
look at
how
that.
easy that is to get the shape. And the petals are quite flexible to move around as well. So you have 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom. Do you see those ones on the bottom?
Yeah.
Then you have the ones on the top. And that's what gives you your lily shape. So it's going to form itself when you quill it. And then we have our foliage. So again, I'm turning it over, grabbing it here, pushing out the quilling tool. And then we just line up our foliage. Again, because now in a few minutes, we'll take all 3 flowers and we'll put them on a project. But for the moment, I'm just going to layer them up with our flowers. And look at the 2 tones of the greens there.
That's great.
And then, of course, we have our bud. And a bit more. And then we're going to pop the lily on top. Line them up.
Oh,
Now.
look at that. Oh,
So that is our lily.
pretty. That is so, so pretty. Isn't that incredible? They're just so realistic. And even though sort of Sharon mentioned earlier on, oh, I'm going to add some colour to it and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to it, you might have thought, oh, I wonder if this is going to get really complex. But again, just proving there how easy, once you know how to do it, it can be. If you do want to seize the moment on this, then absolutely do, because we are going to be looking at making a project with those 3 in just a moment or two. Before that though, I may well have mentioned earlier that if you mix and match some of these designs, you could create something that as a floral doesn't exist on this planet and maybe feels a little bit mystical and magical. Maybe it feels like something the fairies may well frolic amongst. We have got for you some, gorgeous frolicking flower fairy characters. These are Stamp and Die collection. Now, if you've not seen these before, they are dancing, beautiful fairies. However, depending on how you decoupage them up and play with them, they could be ballet dancers, they could almost be kind of pixies. They've got a really gorgeous feel to them. Have you seen that discount? Whoa, I love it when you save more than you spend. We're saving nearly £50 or nearly $53 on that. And again, remember, Club Inspire is a step up for you. So you get the rosemary, jasmine and the aster as well in that one. So well worth treating yourself. If you want the jasmine selection, you're going to get the stamp die as well. So you're getting 17 of the stamps and then 12 of the dies in here. So again, you have that opportunity to make the 3D jasmine flowers, and then you've got the fairy as well there. I've got the aster pairing for you now. So if you want it in this format, you can. Again, you get the 3D flower and then also you get the stamp and die of the fairy as well. $8.99 or $10.99, but no one's paying that today. If you are gold today, for you gold club members, it's just £7.19 or $8.79. That's if you're gold. If you're platinum, forget about it. $5.39 or $6.59. It's the type of change you find. Well, I don't know about you, but it's the type of change I find at, like, you know, down the back of your sofa. You know, like when you've got in after a long day or night and your bag falls open and all the change goes out. That's kind of the kind of price point we're thinking of, really. It's just an incredible look you're going to get here. Now let's talk more about that big collection. Again, you can see your deal on screen. You've seen and been inspired by Sharon, but we've got even more inspiration coming up. So we've made 3 flowers with Sharon. Should we have a little nosy at kind of project we can do next?
Yeah, I'll just show you really quickly how to put them together in a very simple project, because what's the one thing with going to any occasion is you want to give a gift.
Yes.
So right now I think the big thing and what everyone wants is a little gift card. So we're going to put these on a card, but I'm going to show you how to make the fastest gift card holder you've ever made in your life.
Perfect.
Okay. So basically what you start off with is just your general blank card. Okay?
Yeah.
But what you're going to do is, now I'm going to speed through this. 2 inches from the bottom, right? Open it out, you're going to score it. Okay?
Okay.
And you're going to fold it in.
Okay.
But before you fold it down in place, you need to have a little bit of glue. So on the edge here and on the edge here, that's all you need. A little bit of glue. Pop that in. Then fold it over. Right? So now you've got a 6x6 card base.
Brilliant.
But on the inside then, that space there is where you're going to put your gift cards.
Ho, ho, ho. Love it.
Okay? So that's how quick this is. But we're going to decorate it a bit because it's a bit blank inside. So all I've done is black cardstock with a white overlay, and that would be where you write your message.
Lovely.
And then to match the front, I've made 2 panels of patterned paper.
Okay.
Layered onto cardstock. So this is just to have the inside looking a little bit fancy. And just place that there. And then we do the same on the opposite side. And place that here.
Great.
Okay. And that's the inside. So then we write our message to someone, but then we could pop in our little gift cards. And there's 2. You could put them there, you know, angle them like that just to make it look pretty. So that is your gift card holder. Fastest one you'll ever make. But then we go to the outside and we're going to decorate that. So I've just made a topper, black cardstock and pattern paper. And it's 6x6. I'm going to take off these. And I'm going to add that to the front. Pop that down. And then we have a topper, but then we have our 3 flowers that we made earlier. And we're going to add these to the front, and I'm going to use the 3D gel for this.
Okay.
So I'm going to put the ranunculus first in this corner because it's the heaviest and the biggest.
Okay.
Spread that out. And then I'm going to add the lily beside that. And I'm going to tuck it in so that it's hugging. And then we're going to put the tea rose up the top. And then angle that a little so that the petals are coming out the side. Lovely. And then we just get a topper, a sentiment or whatever, pop that there. And that's it. That is
incredible.
Our gift card holder.
I mean, you said quick, but I didn't realise that I've literally spent longer brushing my teeth. That was so cool and quick, and it's real impact. Like, if I got given that, I would be talking to my friends about it, and that would stay on my mantelpiece.
Yeah, and it's so easy. It's literally just creasing, folding, and adding some glue tape there.
Oh, it's just
and the outside of it then is where you decorate, you give it the impact.
I love it. Right, we're going to go to a break, and I'm going to be honest, normally at this point I'd be like, check out your baskets, and yes, do that, but also I'm pretty much sure that about 60% of our audience are just going, give me the tape pen, I need to make a card holder. Well, if you're quick, you'll probably have done it by the time we're back. Do check out your baskets, because we've got more from the fabulous Sharon, and we have got more deals and treats, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% of your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash. Draw, decorate, and customize your world with the colorful Spectrum Noir acrylic paint markers. Each premium paint marker gives opaque coverage on ceramic, glass, wood, and let's not forget paper, cardstock, and canvas. These versatile markers are filled with highly pigmented premium water-based paint, offering beautiful, rich, and smooth coverage. The colors can be blended together, and the fast-drying opaque paint is ideal for layering. A 3mm bullet tip offers smooth strokes, and a precision valve mechanism allows rich and consistent flow with no clogging. Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash. Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Quiet. The neighbours.
I'm all out of Zoom. I'm so lost without you. I'm not singing.
Lisa, if you email in, don't send a picture of your air fryer. Make sure it's something creative.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
Joy, there's not a dry eye in the studio here. Debbie's welling up, I'm welling
belly up.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day.
Welcome back, lovely crafters. How are you today? Do you need a little bit of a pep in your step? Do you need a little bit of a bloom in your, trying to think of a body part beginning with B, but I'm just going to move on. Bonce in your bonce, because we have got for you the fabulous Sharon Callis with us. We'll be saying hello to her again in a moment. For now, though, let's get our weekend bag ready. This is a super saver deal, and in here I have got creator cards. Now, I'm going to again show you 3 this time, picking them at random. Let's see if we can get our maths right this time. I knew I should have just gone for 2. Right, let's see, just 3 at random. I've got for you the Decadent Hearts. Now, from my memory, this was £17. £15. It's a great start. I've also got for you in here the Moon and Stars. Now, from my memory, this was £15, which means £30. So what I'm about to show you is free. And it is, which by my memory, £20 for your save the date. So here in my hands, I have got 40, 50 pounds, £50 worth. £50 worth of product for just £30 or $40. So for free is one of them already. That's free, that's free, that's free, and that's free as well. So we have got for you £24 or $32 if you are gold today. This is a really special opportunity if you love a bargain because you're saving more than you're spending. This just in. 70% of the stock has gone. That's 70 of the stock has gone. So if you do want to treat yourself to the Super Saved bag, be super quick about it because that is very popular indeed. Now, we've been chatting all about Sharon Callis's fabulous, fabulous garden florals collection, and it has been so popular. I do just want to put this right out there because I'm like you know, I love watching and I love treating myself to little goodies, but I have been in a situation before where like the presenter hasn't kept me up to date on what's going on in stock and I've just forgotten that I've put something in my basket and I haven't checked it out, and then when I come to, it's gone. I want to let you know that now officially the Lily paper, which is our most popular paper, Tea Rose is our most popular dye. Interesting, because you could definitely mix and match those. I have now got less than 70 of this paper, less than 70 of this paper pad. And just to let you know, once this paper pad goes, we haven't got any of the collection left. So just wanted to remind you of that because I don't want you to miss out on anything. There is absolutely oodles in this collection. As you can see, you've got a great saving on it as well today, and you've got a great amount of inspiration coming from Sharon herself. Sharon, how are you?
I'm great, Becky. I'm great. It was a great first hour. Excited for the next.
And a busy first hour as well. Very busy. Do be quick. Sharon, what are we going to look at next?
Well, just really quickly for people, I'm just going to run through the collection again, if that's okay,
Perfect.
just to show what's in the contents in it, because I'm worried about the tea rose and the lily, so just to let everyone else know what's there before they check out.
Perfect.
So, as we said before, the lily pad is almost gone, and that's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
So in the lily pad, we have the variegated tones of all the various types of lily. And then we have, like for the champagne rose, mountain peony, orchid, tea rose, and ranunculus. They all have their own pad. And I'll show you them now and I'll show you the flowers. So this is the lily flower. And in each die set, you get the flower die, but you'll also get 3 foliage dies as well. They can be used with the lily, or mixed and matched with other flowers, not in this collection, but other collections as well. So we get the lily, Then we get the tea rose. Then we get the mountain peony, which is one of the smallest flowers. And you'll notice here there's 2 sizes. And basically that's a single die cut, and that is using 2 strips. So you can make small or larger flowers with 1 die. And then we have our orchid, and we'll demonstrate that this hour. And I'll show you how this, like the lily, comes together really quick and really easily. And then we have our champagne rose. This is one of my favorite. Again, a small and a large, simply done by using 2 cut strips. And then we have our ranunculus. So we have a small and a large again, and we saw that in the previous hour, how you can make a small and a large of that, but add extra to that with stamens. And then don't forget, in this collection as well, we have absolutely gorgeous decorative frames. So this is Rose, Bliss and Pretty Posies, and you can cut, emboss and ink through these dies, so they're a triple function die. And then we have embossing folders. So we've got 2. The first is Divine Blooms, and this is a motif of the florals that you get in the collection, and it's a 3D embossing folder. So it works amazing with your gilded waxes or with your inking up. And then we have the ornate tiles. So the ornate tiles are done to mimic, kind of like in a greenhouse or an orangery, you know, one of those Edwardian or Victorian. So I think this is a nice effect as well. And as Becky said earlier, it's futuristic looking as well. Yeah. So I think that this will travel across collections.
Definitely, I agree with you. It's just absolutely jam-packed. And again, I will let you know, lots of different elements this you can purchase alone, but if you want the biggest saving of money, then definitely do treat yourself to this collection because it's got the biggest saving. So which flower are we looking at now?
Okay, so just to say, we're going to look at the champagne rose.
Lovely.
Now in the collection there's 2 roses. There's the tea rose, which we saw, that has the heart-shaped petals.
Yes.
But the champagne rose has a more rounded petal. And just to save a little bit of time here, I've already cut out the foliage and the rose, because what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of bling to this one. So it'll take the rose up another level, but instead of using stamens on this one, we're going to use gems.
Okay.
Okay. So we start off, so we've got our die cut anyway. So this is a kind of a cream, kind of champagne color.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to start with a little bit of shaping on the petals of this. Now, I don't want to go too heavy, because on a champagne rose, the petals are more open and they're a lot flatter. So I'm literally just tapping the center.
Okay.
And that's all you need to do, because that's providing a kind of a cup to the petal.
Okay, I see.
And then we flip that over.
Someone did ask earlier, how much time do you spend staring at flowers? Because you definitely have to look at them a lot, right, to know all of this.
You do. And not only that, but there's so many varieties of a single flower that there's something that varies across all of the species, basically, of it, or varieties, for want of a better word.
Yeah.
So you do kind of have to pay attention. Like with the flower fairies there, when you look at I thought jasmine was jasmine, but no, there's only one variety of jasmine that has a stamen, and that's the orange flower jasmine.
What? I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know either till I went to research.
Wow.
So, and I mean, our lovely viewers, just trying to find it, you know, are very astute. So when I'm designing, I do keep in mind, you know, that we do have lovely botanists, etc. out there who would quickly put me right. But yeah,
amazing.
The orange jasmine's the only one with a stamen.
Wow.
Right, so we've done what we always do. We cut it, fold it, and we're now going to roll it. So again, there was no gluing of 2 layers together, waiting for layers to dry, worrying about alignment. It's all done first. So giving a little pinch to the smaller petals, till we can get momentum. And then we just go to the end.
Lovely.
Right, so that's our basic flower. And once you master that technique, that's it, you've mastered them all.
Brilliant.
But what I want to do is, I want to add a little bit of bling to this.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is, I've got a tub of glitter, and I'm going to use a tray here. So it's just a little tub of glitter, and I want to use glue. So I'm going to use the tacky glue, and I'm going to pour a little bit onto the tray beside me, and just spread it out a little. Now, there's two ways of doing this. You can dip it in the glue, and then dip it in your glitter, but I think it might be a bit heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually taking my ink dauber, and I'm going to saturate that with glue. I always keep one in my tub that I use for gluing.
Oh, okay.
All right, so that's saturated with glue, and I'm daubing that onto the petals. So I know that just the tips of the petals will get glue on it and not right down into the flower, which can happen when you oversaturate it by dipping it in glue itself.
Right, I see.
So it's kind of random, but it'll still work
Okay.
when you just want a little bit of glitter. So then I'm going to dip it in. Now I can go in deep, dab it around, and then I'm just going to flick the quilling tool. But then when you pick it up,
whoa,
get a little bit, do you see?
enchanted.
You just
yeah.
get enough
Lovely.
on the tips. And how gorgeous is that?
That's enchanted rose right there, isn't it?
It is, it is. So imagine that in white and dipped in silver, or the gold as well. But
Lovely.
it's just a little touch. If you were to try and do that before you quilled it, you'd end up with glitter on your hands, and it'd go everywhere, and it's just very messy. So what we're going to do then is, I'm going to take it another little step further. Now, I could leave it like that. That's a closed bud, but I'm going to open it out. So I'm using the base of my quilling tool to find the center. And there it is. And then I'm going to use, now this is a self-adhesive gem, but you know, you could add more glue into it. And I'm just going to pop that down in the center and press down deliberately so it opens out. And there we go. So that takes it up to another level. So you can just play around with the petals there. You know, you can spread it out a little bit more, but it just adds another element to your flowers if you don't want to use stamens. And then we just come back then to our foliage. Now you could do the same with the foliage if you want to add a little bit of glue to the tips of them, give it a dip. You know, it just frosts the tips of them there. And then we're just going to assemble again. That and the bud. And we have a calyx as well. Just fold down the ends of that. Pop a bit of 3D gel in it. Add our rose. Pop a bit on the base and add it all together.
Oh, wow. Lovely.
Yeah.
That's
So
so
that is our tea rose with a bit of bling.
Yes! Tea rose with extra sparkle. Do you know what? Again, as always, just so many messages coming through for you, Sharon. This is a masterpiece of a demonstration, says Shadia. Hello to Carrie saying, stunningly beautiful. A whole new level of paper crafting. Gorgeous from Danita. Hello to you. What a pretty make. Oh, I'm going to try this technique. We've got so many of you messaging, absolutely loving these, which is always wonderful to see. If this is the first time that you have seen Sharon, let me let you know, it's not just all about those decorative florals, it is also about her fabulous succulent collection as well. And this is a collection and a half. Succulents, of course, they kind of became really, really big. They became really known just a few years ago, right? I in all honesty, I think if someone had said to me the word succulent, you know, 5 years ago even, I'd have, wouldn't have had a clue what they were talking about apart from like a roast chicken. But yeah, with these, we have got for you these wonderful designs, and I'm just going to quickly run through the product for you to give you an idea of what's in here. So we have got dies in here. We've got, well, you'll see in a moment, we've got absolutely loads. So bringing to you your wonderful details and designs, which just to show you how you can use something like this. So these ones working out as your tags. Don't forget, these tags you could actually cut out, depending on what you cut them out, you could actually use them in the likes of your garden if you wanted to. I've got your gift and pot labels as well. So you could put names on this using your stamps. You could put types of plants. I've got the actual plant pot itself, which again you can cut out of card, you can cut it out of vellum if you wanted to. It's absolutely up to you. Then I've got your actual succulents themselves, and just to let you know, in this one, I'll talk to you about the stamp and die first. In this one, you're getting a big amount, so you get beautiful on-trend sort of makes and designs with your stamps. There is in that one 30 pieces, and that's got your dies in there as well. Then I've got, to be honest, one of my favourite embossing folders of all time. It's your terrarium. I absolutely love this one. Really nice 3D sort of, sculptural design to the actual terrarium itself. Then I've got the garden frame as well, which is lovely. If you did actually want to use the flowers that we're bringing to you now in the garden florals, they look great in the middle of that. As well as it, I'm bringing to you the geo wire trellis, which actually really lovely to work alongside the embossing folders we've got for you today. More of the succulents as well. I've got lots of different designs for you to create different styles of kind of like grasses, if you will, as well as like your jade plant as well. We have got loads and loads that you can enjoy in here, including the likes of the baby aloe, which I love because I think it does look like a baby aloe vera plant, but also I have seen it used in different ways, so it looks quite Christmassy. But yes, as always, you are getting the fabulous twist and turn of fun that you can have. And today, it's $28.71 or $39.08. It is bonkers. So do you see some moment? I will let you know, the only reason we're doing this kind of price on this at this moment in time is because I've not got like loads and loads left. So it's a little bit like when you go into the shop and there's only got like 2 or 3 sort of styles or colours of a certain dress left, and you have to go in and hope that it's your size. It's a little bit like that, but you know that these are going to work every single time, and it is just for the final few. So if you haven't seized the moment, now is definitely your chance. Do grab it whilst you can, especially today if you're gold price, because that there says platinum, that's gold price. Platinum $21.53 for you, or $29.31, so well worth treating yourself. We have got the fabulous garden florals that we're bringing to you today. They only launched a few days ago, so you might not have seen them before. Let's head back with Sharon to see which one are we going to be looking at next, Sharon?
We'll move on to the mountain peony, and I'll show you how you can add wire to the flowers now. So if you're making an oasis display or you're adding them around a flower crown, things like that, how you actually put the wire in and how it works.
Great.
So what we do then is, right, so the mountain peony, so what I've done is I've cut out 2 strips, but when you look at the sheets for the mountain peony and the size of the die, again, you're going to get 2 cuts from this.
Yeah.
So what you can actually do is with these sheets, is fold them along the center that way.
Okay.
And then when you place the die down, do you see, you're going to get 2 die cuts from the one sheet.
Great.
So that pad is great value. And the mountain peony pad goes with the ranunculus and works with the lily as well.
Ooh,
so
lovely.
if you want to use it across them.
Great.
So what I've done is I've cut out 2. One in a light color and one in a darker tone, because we're going to do a doubler on this one as well. And all I've done is use my hand. I've bent back the petals.
Okay.
That's all I need to do with this one. So this is probably, in the whole set, the easiest flower to make.
Okay.
This truly is just cut, fold and roll with this one.
Great.
But then we want to add wire into this. So I've just got some green wire here that you can get from art shops or florists. But if you don't want to use wire and you want to use something different, I use golf tees. because of the shape of them, and I'll just show you here with the tea rolls. It gives you a centre to add gems, glitter, or flocking. So if you don't have a quilling tool, and there's a bag of golf tees somewhere around the house, I would go raid it. Now these are wooden, and I only paid about £1.50 for a bag of 60.
Wow.
So they are so cheap.
That's brilliant.
And if you don't have those, but you have barbecue or lollipop sticks, you can use those.
Brilliant.
If they're lying around. So you can use wire, you can use lollipop sticks, or you can use golf tees.
Brilliant. I love that.
And also with the golf tees, just say at Christmas, and if you wanted to cut out the lily a few layers in the red to make a poinsettia, and you have the styrofoam balls and you want to make the pomeranders, these stick great into styrofoam, and they stay, not like pins that can fall out.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant.
Okay, so for this we're going to use the wire, but I need a hook. So on the top of it, I'm just going to bend it back and give it a pinch, but I need to leave room for it to wrap around the paper.
Okay.
And also have it pinched enough that it's not going to fall out. Okay, so just open that up now. But you can play around with this as well. I think I've enough there. Let's open it out a little bit more. As I said, I haven't got my glasses on, guys, because the lights reflect off it. I look like Blinky McBlinky. Okay, so we're going to start with the lighter centre. So, quilling tool. Now, I've got the red liner tape on 3mm, and I'm just going to load it up and give it 3 twists. Okay, so while it's on the quilling tool, we're going to get the wire. Now there's a gap, I'll bring it up a bit closer. So there's a gap between the petals, and I'm just going to hook the wire on.
Okay.
Like that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hold them together. So I'm going to quill while holding the quilling tool and the wire.
Okay, right, I see that.
All the way to the bottom. Keep going all the way down. So that's the first layer.
Okay.
And you see the wire is there?
Yes.
Staying in. And then we're going to start the next layer. Where the first layer ended. Give it a pinch, give it a turn, and continue to hold the quilling tile and the wire together.
Okay.
Just keep going, wrapping it around. Come to the end. Because a peony is a quite compact flower. Now I've got 2 layers there. You could easily do 3, 4, or 5 layers onto that.
Yeah.
So just the outside layer I'm going to fan out, but I'm not really going to touch the centre.
Okay.
It's just, and you see the colour in the paper?
Gorgeous. Yeah.
Absolutely lush. Right, so turn it over, hold it, and use your thumb. But make sure you're not holding the wire.
Okay.
And pull out your quilling tool. And your wire will stay there.
Oh.
So now you have it wired to add, to wrap around your flower crowns, to add into your projects, and it'll hold there because the hook is pointing down. You can't pull it out.
I see. That's great.
And then you can just go ahead and add your foliage. I mean, you can punch through the paper. Use your Pokey tool, Sharon. So you can punch through your cardstock and thread up your foliage and your flowers on it. And then you can add a little bit of glue at the end to hold them in place.
Oh, I see.
Right, so they're on that. So a wreath, a garland, even the buttonhole, flower crowns, table displays, you know, it'll be perfect for that.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh my goodness, people are just absolutely adoring it. Enchanted Crafts has just gone, what an idea with the golf tees. I know, I have a feeling that, you know, there's just going to be like front page news tomorrow. Amazon sold out of all golf tees. As everyone just piles on to buy them. And just saying, Sharon is so talented and she really does have an eye to create beautiful plants and flowers. Totally agree with you. Beth is saying, I love your products, Sharon. Deborah is saying, I love the flowers you are demonstrating. They're beautiful and wonderful tips that you're giving. Beth's talking about the succulent collection we just did, and Beth's saying, my granddaughter had a live succulent in her prom corsage, so they are definitely on trend. That's fab to know, isn't it? That's wonderful. So yes, thank you for those messages. Do keep them coming through. And just whilst we're here, I'm going to do a quick demo of the day vote. You may well have noticed earlier on that I accidentally read out the wrong winner. It wasn't as bad as, like, you know, when they did it on the BAFTAs or whatever, you know, when it was like, oh, the winner is Moonlight, and everyone was like, yeah, and then it was like, oh no, sorry. But yes, I did call out the wrong winner. The winner for the second show was actually this one, made by Michelle, which was Happy Birthday. So yes, this is a product, the one that actually won. So we've got two to choose from. I'll do them in order. Product number 1 for make of the day is number 1, and numero 2 is the easel card. So we would have Sharon's here, but quite frankly, she's in Ireland and postage takes a bit of time. Look, there we go. Yeah, pick me! Ooh, maybe, do you know what? You would be great on Eurovision. We have got for you 2 to choose from there, so do get your votes in. We have got one more flower from this collection to make, and then we're going to make another project. So just as a reminder, this is your garden florals. You have got in this set 26 dies in total. That is with 2 embossing folders and 180 sheets of gloriousness that make your life so much easier and give you a professional finish every single time. All of this today. Well, basically, no one's paying $99.99 because we've got this offer on at the moment where, say you're like a bronze member, you get silver prices, silver members get gold prices, so on and so forth. If you're platinum, you think, I already get 20% off everything, I therefore can go no further. Today, we're giving you the chance to 25% off you're getting. So well worth seizing the moment on this whilst you can, because it actually makes this collection best ever price. So do seize the moment whilst you can. So we've got another flower, and then we have got the project. And this flower, when I saw this die, it's so unusual looking, Sharon.
It is, you know, like when you go to make a lily or an orchid or a flower that has basically 2 layers.
Right.
It gets a bit tricky, so I can tell you that designing this orchid took a long time. Long time.
I bet.
So when you look at the die cut or the die itself, it's a bit different from the other ones because the flowers aren't mirrored. You'll see I've got 2 large petals and a small ear, and then we've got 2 smaller ones and a large one, and we have our center, and then we have our stamens. So I promise you, when this is quilled, they will fall into their layers. So what you'll end up with is the larger petals on the top and the smaller petals on the bottom.
Wow.
Right. So we've die cut that out now. The pad on this, it's like the lily. So if lily pad has run out, I would grab this pad.
Okay.
So as you can see, you know, it's similar to the lily without the spotting or the veins in it. But look at the dark tones in that.
Gorgeous.
If I can
That's
get that to
beautiful.
even see, you can see there's speckling in this
Yeah,
one
you can. Yeah.
as well. So it's an absolutely gorgeous pad, and you've got tones of green in there as well.
Lovely.
Right. So what I've done is I've cut them out. Now, just to show you what they look like in 2 tones, I've cut out a dark one. And this is what the dark orchid looks like in colour.
Ooh.
So that would be what your dark orchid should look like.
Lovely.
So we're going to work with the lighter tone.
Okay.
But we're going to work with our spectrums again.
Okay, great.
So I'm using the lavender blend, and I'm going to use the lightest though on
Okay,
this
then.
one, right? So first of all, the smaller stamens, going to add a little bit of colour to these. Okay, so just to add, it's just something a little extra. You could use gilding on this, you can use flocking. Yeah, oh, there's one that went over. Okay, so it's just to add a bit of tone to that.
Lovely.
But what we're going to do then is this part of the stamen, which is the center, it generally is kind of a greeny yellow, but I'm going to go actually with a muted brown.
Okay,
And just the tips here, just giving them a little bit of colour.
I see.
Okay, and then flip that over. And I'm not being too particular, I'm not being too fussy, because you just need a little bit. Okay, so that's the colour added. But the petals themselves need a bit of shaping. So what I'm going to do is, going to hold it now. I'm right-handed and I quill from the right.
Okay.
So that's why I'm turning it this way. If you're left-handed and you quill from the left, you'll probably end up this way.
Okay.
But I'm right-handed, okay, because I want to add shape to the petals. So it's only to give the curve on the top of the petal again. I'm just going around the top. That's all I'm doing. And then flip it over. And then curl around the top. Okay. The other three I'll shape when the flower is quilled.
Okay.
So fold on the perforation line. And then you end up with what looks like a load of trees lined up on the avenue.
Yeah.
So then we get my red liner tape. So again, this is 3 mil. You could use 6 mil, but I find it a bit too thick.
Okay.
So you're better off with the 3 mil. Now you can use liquid glue. Use this. And just while I'm quilling it, you can also use these dyes, as I said before, with felts and cottons, etc. But you can also use them with aluminiums and aluminums or aluminiums, whichever you prefer to say. You know, I've used these with soda cans, used acetone to remove the print, and then I've cut out with the dyes.
Great.
And I've used them on chimes in the garden.
Oh, lovely. What a great idea.
So just be careful. I'd say wear gloves because it can be quite sharp till you work with it. Okay, so I've quilled. So that's the first part. So that's our little stamens. And if you wanted to cut that off there to have a small little flower on its own, you could, but we're going to keep going.
Okay.
So we're working our way, right? So the first petal comes around. Don't worry about that one, but this one you need to pinch
Okay.
to help with the turning. Okay, so the next one comes around, and you see that they've lined up with each other.
Yes. Yeah.
Then we turn, give the big one a little pinch, and then we just bring the last one around.
Oh, look at
Okay.
that.
Right. So this is where we pull them apart and say our prayers. So we bring down one, bring down the second, bring down the third, but I want to tuck that in there. So one goes behind and two are across from each other. But then you've got the little ones here,
Yeah.
and you see where the three of them have lined up?
Yes. Perfectly.
Right, so the small ones are always on the bottom, like that. So they just sit there. Give them a little pinch. Then we're going to spread out the stamens in the... And then we're just going to give them a little wiggle just to line them up. But that's what we end up with. So we have our petal behind. We have the two on the top that are adjacent to each other, and then your three at the bottom. So it's all lined up for you.
That's fabulous, that is. Wow.
Push it off, and then we just grab our foliage. So we have these long stems here, And then of course we have our leaves. So we just play around then, just to layer these up. And we pop that one over there. And then, you know, of course you could do these on wire as well, you know, to do this, the stem with 3 or 4 of them that kind of line up with each other. Okay, and then we pop our orchid on that. And that's our finished orchid.
Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, it's so beautifully structural in real life, and you can see that it is. Do you know what? That's like a proper piece of architecture, that, isn't it? It's like engineering in the extreme. So many people, like Shadia was messaging in during that, just saying, I am just mesmerised, which I think is a great way of putting it, most certainly. Hello to you getting in touch with your lovely messages. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to check out on your baskets, because if, like Kathy, you have just checked in with us. Hi, Kathy, how's your day going? Oh, I hope you're having a really nice one. I hope you're not being too busy. I hope you're sort of easing your way into the weekend. We have today gotten a very special deal, if you have just tuned in like Kathy, whereby whatever member or whatever level of Club Inspire you are at, you are actually today bumped up to the next layer. So even if you're platinum, normally you get 20% off, yeah? Today you're getting 25% off. So where that says platinum price there, actually gold members, you are getting that price today, making it best price ever, okay? So I just thought I'd let you know that in case you have just tuned in, because now is the time to make the most of these opportunities. So we're gonna be back with Sharon, with projects and so much more. But before we are, let's check out our baskets, make the most of that offer whilst it lasts, and we'll be back in, about 3 minutes.
We've had to make some changes to our shipping charges, and we want to keep you informed. With continued pressure on domestic shipments around mainland US, we've had to temporarily increase the cost of our regular 6 to 10 working day standard shipping service from $9.99 to $12.95, and our free shipping threshold from $100 to $125. We also have some really great news to tell you. We've introduced a brand new shipping service called Express Delivery. This is a fully tracked door-to-door service which takes 3 to 7 working days and costs $19.95. This option means you'll get your crafty goodies in your hands sooner, meaning less waiting and more crafting. We're also upgrading delivery services for our Gold and Platinum Club Inspire members, who will now receive priority delivery on all of their orders. And if that wasn't enough, we've upgraded these orders to our new Express 3 to 7 day service. Your patience and understanding throughout this very busy time has been amazing. So we'd just like to say a huge thank you, and we look forward to chatting to you again very soon.
Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash.
Make light work of intricate and delicate die-cutting designs with the Pokey tool from Crafter's Companion. An absolute essential part of any paper crafter's kit, its precise tip has been designed to release the tiniest pieces to reveal your finished results with absolute precision. And to make sure your finished project is perfect, each Pokey tool has a rubber tip protector, so there's no risk of damaging your die-cutting design or yourself. The Crafter's Companion Pokey tool is such an essential craft item, we've included 2 in each set.
Quick Buy, get yours now.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the Crafters Companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% of your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Welcome back to Crafters TV. You got yourself some bargains. Oof. Good on you. We have had so many treats in the show today, to say the least. And one of the treats comes in the 3D form of Sharon. And we will be heading back to Sharon in just a mo or two. Let me just let you know, all of you who are messaging in with your lovely, lovely comments, it's just so nice to see. And we have got more inspiration coming up in just a moment. I do want to remind you that we have got that offer on for you today. If you do want to get that level up on your crafting Club Inspire, you can get that level up. And I will just remind you too that as you're leveling up, you are even saving money on some things that are so hot off the press they feel warm to the touch. They don't, but these are quite new is my point. We have got for you fabulous elements in today's show, including the likes of your garden florals with Sharon Callis. Now, if you have just tuned in, where have you been? Have you got a note to say why you're late? If you are a bit late, don't worry about it. Just do us a favour. Give this show right now, like in the bottom, one of the corners, there'll be like a little like button. Give it a press, because you will be able to save this show so you can watch this back later, because Sharon has gone through every single one of these beautiful flowers and how to make them and put together. We've already done one project, but we've got another project coming up in just a moment. So that's well worth doing whilst you have the opportunity to do so. We've had a winner through for Demo of the Show, and in fact Demo of the Day. Demo of the Day went to number 2 with Michelle. So if you do want to grab this one, you have the chance to do so right now. So yes, this one is for Demo of the Day, and I will let you know that we did have lots of votes in for Sharon's project as well, which is always lovely. We are bringing to you the final project now. We have got the final sort of 9.5-ish minutes. No, 15-ish minutes with the wonderful Sharon. So let's dive on in. What are we going to be looking at next, Sharon?
Right, well, we couldn't just show the flowers without showing you some of the elements that are going with it. So the Rose Bliss frame, I absolutely love this. This is the die for making your easel cards, for making your backgrounds, for making your photo frames, because you can cut as it is and remove the center, gorgeous photo frame, decoupage. What we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on the elements that are the emboss elements in this, and how you can cut, emboss and ink before even removing it from the die.
Great.
So very quickly, I just want to show you. Now, so this is the just white all-purpose card. I'm going to place it on. I'm going to add some tape to this just to hold it for the initial cut, and I'm just going to put a bit over there just to stop it moving around. So we put this through the Gemini, but then we need to go and find our purple embossing mat for the next step.
Right.
So it's come through. Okay, so we have to be very careful now. So we're going to slide off the top, because you get a bit of static in this and it can pull it out. So you're better to slide it off, and then if anything is loose, just flick it out of the way.
Okay.
Now we need to emboss it. So I'm going to remove the shim layer. I hope this works now, because guys, I'm trying to remember whether I remove the shim layer or whether I remove the magnetic layer. So this could spit back at me. So we'll just see if this is, if it's not the shim, it's the magnetic layer. Oh, it's going through. There's the shim layer. Done this 50 times and I still question myself. Okay, so very carefully now, we're removing the top there. Then we're going to, don't just yank off the embossing mat, roll it off.
Okay.
Okay, and it'll take off some of the bits as well.
Okay.
Okay, so now, the easy thing to do is to hold it out like that and put your hand underneath to remove everything else.
Okay.
But the paper's still in the die. We're going to flip it over onto our mat. Okay. Now I can remove the tape now out of the way. And as we can see, well, it's kind of hard to see now with the lights, okay? But the area that's exposed now is the rose and the petals.
Okay.
So we're going to come in here now with our opaque pigments. So this is fuchsia. And then use my ink dauber. Now, I find if you rub it, sometimes the ink goes under the metal and it ruins the crisp line. So they're daubers, so you daub.
Okay. Easy to remember.
So you daub. Okay, so that's the rose. And then going to go down the end and do the same with the other rose. Okay. Okay.
Lovely.
So put that in there. Okay, so that's the first part.
Okay.
Now we can remove it from the die. Okay, so I'll flip it over. So that's the wastage. Now actually, if you're doing a shaker card, keep that, because that could be your frame.
Great, yeah, great.
Okay, now, so just gently lift it up, because you don't want to rip it at this stage. So just work your way around, and it'll lift out. Now the ink will be quite messy at this stage on the die, so give that little rub. And you're good to go again for the next time.
Great.
Now we're going to flip this over.
Ooh.
And can you see there?
Wow.
Look at the detail that came out.
Beautiful.
From the rose. Now, take out any excess pieces. Use your Pokey tool. Or if you're doing a fast demo, use your fingers. Now, I want to add a little bit more colour. So I'm bringing in my messy map. And then we're going to add a little bit of green. So this is grasshopper, the opaque pigment. And I'm just putting a bit on the petals, or leaves.
Okay, yeah.
Apologies. A bit on the leaves. Doesn't take a lot. Okay, so that's the leaves. And then finally then, I'm going to take some lemon tonic. And then I'm going to go on the edge of the swirls. Just bring that in there. That just adds a little bit, so 3 layers of colour.
Yes.
And you'll see why now in a minute. So that just brings it out into its own.
Yeah.
Now, so just move these to the side. And then I'm going to bring in my card. So this card here then is just your basic card. And I've just added some textured cardstock in some oranges and black. And then we're going to use this as our topper. Now, ink is still a little bit wet, so give it a little swish just to dry that out a little bit.
Perfect.
And then we're going to add some ink pads to the back. So I'm using the larger ones. Jeremy ink pads, foam pads.
We knew what you meant.
Just use the 4. And we're going to pop that on the card. Okay, in the center.
That's so
Like
pretty.
that. And then I've just got a topper. Now, what you can do is, you could have cut out 2 of these and then removed the center by just, there's only 3 points at the top and 3 points at the bottom where the center is connected to the outer frame.
Great.
So you can snip them off, run it through an embossing folder and layer it over. So you've got that dimension in that.
Lovely.
And I have a sample I'm going to show you in a minute where that was done.
Great.
So then we're just going to add the topper into the center. And then we're going to bring in the flowers we've made this hour.
Oh, fab.
So we have our champagne rose with our glitter.
Oh, the blingy
The front.
rose.
So I'm going to tuck that in here at the top. And then we're going to bring in our orchid. And we're going to pop that down. I'm actually going to put that on top. So we put our orchid there over that petal.
Okay,
And then we've got our peony. And I'm going to pop that up here beside that rose. Like that. And that is
Gorgeous.
our gorgeous little birthday card there. Now I have another sample here of one I did. And the center panel has been embossed.
Oh, lovely.
Can you see that there?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just added with 3D pads.
Oh, I see.
And then it's just the flowers again.
Oh.
So there's 2 looks using the Rose Bliss frame and then our flowers that we've done.
That's ace, quite frankly, because look how different those cards are, although they're working with the same components. Like, I'm looking at the sort of muted one, I'm thinking, oh, my grandma would absolutely love that one. And then I'm looking at the green one and I'm thinking, my sister would adore that one. Do you know what? I'll be honest, my dad would adore that one too. It's kind of got a really nice unisex feel about it.
It does, yeah.
Doesn't it? Especially if you like love gardening, being outdoors and stuff. That is all made from basically like the same dye and the same flowers. It's just a little bit of imagination. This is why this collection is so cool and, quite frankly, awe-inspiring. And speaking of awe-inspiring, Sharon has inspired a lot of people today, including Susie T, who whipped this up today whilst watching you, Sharon.
Wow, well done, Susie. That's fabulous. And you see, it's so easy to get the result without all the faff, as I say. Like, I'm a lazy crafter. I look for the easy way out, the simplest way to do it and the quickest time. So that's why when I come up with a concept, I'm coming up from that point of view. And I hope that it helps people as well. And we have a group on Facebook, the Sharon Callis Creative Crew, that anybody can come and join. And DT members are there to give advice, to share samples, help you with product as well anytime. We'd love to have you.
Oh, that's so wonderful. You've just had so many messages in. This is brilliant. I'm inspired. I am mesmerised. We have got just so many people coming in. Gilmore saying so pretty. Kathy saying beautiful. Simply beautiful. Deezer is saying I've learned so many great tips from you today. We've got Miriam saying this is so gorgeous. I love everything Sharon Callis for sure. Great tips and demos. There's just so much love coming through for you, Sharon. There really, truly is. Thank you so much for all of the wonderful inspiration. What are you up to with the rest of your day, Sharon?
Well, it's a bit late now, so I think, like everybody else, it's watching some programs I've recorded and singing along to BGT.
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness, I do the same as well. Sharon, it was lovely to see you today. We'll see you really soon.
Bye. Thanks, everybody. See you again soon. Bye.
Oh, do not forget to follow Sharon on her socials because you're just going to get so much inspo on there. Now it is time to be wrapping up the show already. I've got just enough time to tell you a couple of quick things. First off, if you want the lily paper, you better be quick. You know, like, what's his name with the long nose? Beep, beep. Roadrunner, you've got to be that quick if you do want to get your hands on the lily. So do just seize the moment on it, especially with the discount. Also, Kathy has asked really politely, I've just tuned in, can we really quickly see what's in the weekend bag? I'm going to just go through this dead quickly, don't you worry. Just blink and you'll miss it. But whilst I'm doing it, I'm going to talk about something else. That's multitasking. So we have got for you today in this bag all of these creator cards. But whilst we're looking through these, let me remind you that I have got for you tomorrow a Colour Me Happy show. Now, remember, we've mimicked the weekday times now, so you are going to want to join us at 11 a.m. tomorrow. That's 6 a.m. or 3 a.m., depending where you are in the world. It's 2 hours of Colour Me Happy, and we've got the Academy of Colour. I went through all of those ones then, 7 different designs, and that's your price point. 70% of that has gone. Blimey, that was heavy. So yes, we've got got that fabulous treat on for you tomorrow with that Academy of Colour. Thank you to Michelle for today. Thank you to the fabulous team such as Johnny, Charlotte and even mischievous Jake. And of course, thank you to the wonderful Sharon. But most importantly, thank you to you. You're awesome, you're ace. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll see you at 11 tomorrow. Bye-bye.